Welcome
Hi, you
back.
guys.
Welcome back to Too Much with
Shay.
and Becca. Y'all, we are back. We're going back to our regularly scheduled program somewhat.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for tapping on this video, for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. If you are a reoccurring viewer, we appreciate you. All the comments, the likes, we see it and we appreciate you. And if this is your first time here, please stay tuned. Our podcast is called Too Much because we have too much personalities, or we've been told that. And also we talk about a lot of topics. So let's say you're not into news or whatever you're into, trust, we probably are covering it. So hover over the video and find what you like. We talk about news, entertainment, sports, life, all the things. So please do stay tuned. But let's get straight into it. We always start with a rundown of our week. So let's get into our weekly rundown.
What's happening?
Yes. So, as you guys know, well, if you are new here, last week we did a pre-recorded segment where we basically did our game of threes, where we just helped give a better idea of like our likes, interests, everything, everything that encompasses Shayla, everything that encompasses Rebecca, right? So we did that because it was my birthday week, right? Your girl is officially in the 27 club, and I know if you older than me, you probably like, dag, to be 27. But if you are younger than me, like, dag, she's 27. I have the same reaction to both, okay?
Hello.
But guys, to start it off, my birthday was on a Wednesday. I took off from work. I was like, what I really wanted for my birthday is like, if you are reoccurring, my schedule is always boom, 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 I'm busting out the seams. Like your girl is always running rampant. So like for my birthday, I just wanted to run on no schedule. I just wanted to live la vida loca, just do what I want, not rush, everything like that. And I will say this, I want to shout out to my friends because I get in my head a lot where I think I don't do enough for them, or I'm not there for them as much, or sometimes even when we've had episodes that I've talked about, I feel like I'm always showing up for people and people never show up for me. Like it's just always an encompassment of emotions, right? And I went to the mall, got my nails done, everything. And as I'm at the mall, Shayla texts me like, "Oh, like, what are you doing? Like, where you at?" Da, 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 da. And I'm like, "Oh, I'm at the mall." So I'm just thinking it's a regular Tuesday. I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like Shayla's just checking in. Like, what am I doing? Great, cool, calm, collected. She's like, "What store you at?" And I was already on the phone with my one friend. I'm like, that's so random. Like, why would Shayla care what store I'm at? Y'all, why Shayla pull up on me?
And for background, Rebecca and I do not live close to each other, which is why we do a lot of these videos virtually, because we live an hour away from each other. So that's why it's not like, oh, we live 20 minutes and we always go to the same mall. No, I don't enjoy driving to Central Jersey. I'm so sorry. And usually she always comes to North Jersey because this is where the people be at.
Right, all my people be up there. So that was great. Shayla spent the day with me. We had food at the food court. We went to the stores. She came with me to get my eyebrows done, my toes done. And if you guys remember in our Valentine's Day episode where we talked about our love languages, one of my love languages is quality time. So it's like for my friends to basically show up and spend time with me, like that just made my heart feel so like warm, basically. Like Shayla pulled up on me. My friend Amani pulled up to my house with Shayla there. I think they coordinated this. I don't know, but she pulled up with a cake. And then my other friend Sophia pulled up with I have a name twin and she also Haitian. Her name is Rebecca. They pulled up together with my niece. And I was just like, yo, what is going on today? And like, I'm the type of person who ruins surprises for myself. So the fact that like everybody was actually able to surprise me, like it was very unexpected because I had no expectations for the day. So it just felt very good. And then we celebrated my birthday also on the weekend. First off, Shayla and I was stuck in a monsoon, y'all, on a Thursday. The day after my birthday, I took Shayla to an event that I had to cover. As we're there, literally, Shayla and I get there it took us longer to walk to the establishment. Shayla and I get there, and literally 20 minutes in, the biggest rain cloud I've ever seen in my life comes through. Shayla's drenched. The wind literally picks up one of the tents that's in the ground, flies. A lady goes flying to the ground. Shayla runs from cover to go help the lady. I can't see. I'm like, Shayla. I couldn't believe my.
It was very nasty work. And the thing about Jersey is like 0 to 100. Like, yes, it was getting a little cloudy, but like, I'm thinking maybe a little rain, a little drizzle. No, it was like, I mean, I don't think I've lived through hurricane. I think like Hurricane Sandy, but that was like so long ago. I don't really remember.
Right.
But like it gave hurricane tornado vibes, like people's tents, because it was like a festival type thing. So a lot of people had tents. The vendors' tents were flying. Okay. And like, a lot of people were at the vendors like about to buy and shop. So everyone, whatever line you was on, that was your cover, that tent, honey. So they was also trying to hold down the it felt like a 5-minute movie.
If you don't believe me, literally, this was us.
I have contacts on, so the wind was so strong that I felt my contacts. I had a umbrella, but even the umbrella, it was just like not. It was just everyone was drenched.
This is the aftermath. That's like you can see in the corner, like the tent that basically went flying. People hiding for cover. Yes. Like it was
a lot, and I was very much not happy.
It was. Wow. I was like, what a way to celebrate 27. Like, we going into 27, and this is like my second day in, and it's a monsoon. I couldn't believe it. The next day, I covered Summer Jam, talked to some celebrities. You know how we was just talking about Natalie Nunn, talking about I'm the CEO? Your girl interviewed her. It was interesting, to say the least. And then we actually started our birthday celebration on Saturday. Rebecca finally got her boat. And that was an experience within itself. Yo, we was rocking. We were rocking that boat.
I was telling Rebecca, I've been on boats before. This was the rockiest boat ever. Mind you, and I was just confused because usually the boats are rocky depending, like maybe the weather, the wind, the strong wave. I was not seeing none of that. And I was seeing boats that were smaller than ours, just smoothing. The people was... Girl, it was like we couldn't even stand up on the boat. You had to sit down.
Was like, Rebecca, sit down.
Rebecca is clumsy just naturally, like just on the ground, she falling. So as you can imagine, she was just doing a lot. She wasn't doing a lot because it was extra rocky, but because she's already clumsy on ground, it was just a lot. So I just knew it was best for all of us if you just sat down.
Let me tell y'all. So Rebecca goes onto the front of the boat, right? And I'm sitting there with my friend Amani, right? And like I'm sitting closer to like the end of the boat, like of the front, right? And out of nowhere, the captain speeds up the boat and water starts splashing onto the boat. And it started getting rocky, like we mentioned already. So I'm like, oh my God, like we got to go. So Amani already gets up and starts running to the back where everybody else is. Me, I can't get up because, like I said, I'm at the front. So like I was literally gripping onto the window, trying my heart in the rain. Like I said, the rain, the water splashing me. It's slippery. I'm like, oh my God. Like I'm gripping onto the window. I'm literally 3 seconds away from flying into the ocean. Right. And everybody just sitting in the back, watching a girl just struggle for her life.
Girl, no one's watching you. No one knows what is happening. You said you went to the front with Amani. I don't know where you at, what you doing, what's happening. I'm all the way in the back of the boat sitting because I know it's rocky. You are living your best life in the front. Don't put it. She acted like we watching her, like we knew she was up there.
Yes, Amani. And then I walked back and they're like, why are you bleeding? Because I'm literally scraped up from the front of the boat.
Right, we didn't know that. We was not with you.
Yeah. But all of that to say, it was an experience. We also did brunch. Your girl's stomach lining is literally burned to a crisp. Like I've been going through stomach pains for the whole entire week. Like I have not experienced that since college. I can't even eat, like even eating an orange, my stomach burns. Like that's how bad. Your girl, listen, even when you're over 21, lower the consumption of alcohol, please. But y'all, it was a very good birthday weekend. I am so thankful for all of my friends. I'm thankful for everybody who came to the boat, who even didn't even come to the boat, celebrated my birthday with me, spoke to me, called me, text me, anything, just wishing me a happy birthday. I am very grateful for all of you guys. It felt very good to feel celebrated, loved, and appreciated. It shows me that the love that I pour into people also can be poured into me. And I appreciate everybody, especially you, Shayla, very much for allowing and
You're
making my
welcome.
birthday very special. I love you.
Period. Shout out to the birthdays being wrapped up because
No, for
birthdays
real.
are cute, but when it's back to back to back to back to back to back,
Nah,
everybody has that month in their life where it feels like it's everybody and their mother's birthday. And so, it just feels like a lot. The bank account is not happy. I am not an outside type of girl. So I like to show up for people,
I
right?
had
So
Shayla outside for 4 days.
I have to, be there, and it's event after event after event after event. And it's just like, can we please relax on the birthday? So for me, yes,
And
I'm
that
happy that your birthday has
I
been
say
that.
this every year. I'm like, I'm not going to do too much this year. And then I have 4 events back to back to back. And like my friends, they get me. They know sometimes I just be getting in my head and just be, oh, y'all, I scheduled this. I scheduled that. I scheduled this. Yesterday, Shayla and I were on the phone. And I was like, oh, Shayla, this is the perfect birthday idea. She's like, girl, your birthday literally just
Just
passed.
yes, especially because she's Miss. Oh, I don't care my birthday. Da, da, da. Like she hypes up her birthday all the way to her birthday, and like she adds stress to her life. But anyways, let's talk about my week
Yes,
again. Shout out to Rebecca's birthday. Welcome to chapter 27.
thank
For
you.
me, my week was good. I was like Rebecca mentioned, I went to a lot of her not a lot, all of her birthday festivities. And then Carol G dropped her album.
Oh, yeah.
So I listened to that. She has a lot of good songs on that album. So if you are into Spanish music, urban type music, I think you should go and listen to it because she did her big one. Number two,
Do you have a favorite song that you could recommend to people? So I don't listen to Carol G, so if you recommend me a song, even though I don't know what she's
I
saying,
mean, out of the album, I saved a lot of songs. I would say like 5 or 6. So number one that I say was Latina Forever. As you guys know, I am Latina. Coleccionado Coleccionado Heridas. And that song features Marco Antonio Solis. That if you know, Marco Antonio Solis is like a staple of music when it comes to like the Latino culture. Un gatito me llamó, bandida entrenada, si antes te hubiera conocido. But that song been came out, like the single had come out before the album. So those are some good songs. Next, The Heat Wave. As Rebecca mentioned, we went through a tsunami, but we also went through some days of like 100-degree weather, like hot. When it's hot when even the wind is like hot wind. And I love the heat. But I just want regular weather. Like I want a regular summer, a regular fall, a regular spring. Our spring was just rain, rain, rain for like 5 weeks. And then it said, oh, y'all want it summer? Here's 100 degrees. Like, take it light on us, God. Jeez, you know what I mean? I just want regular, not too much.
Mother Nature was playing. Like it went from Seattle, New Jersey to Miami, New Jersey
To Arizona.
to Arizona, New Jersey. Like I was sitting there, I'm like, it's like, it's hot. Like Shayla's talking about the wind, but it's hot when you turn on the car AC and the AC don't even feel cold. Like that's how
And
hot.
then we go through that heat wave, and now it feels like it's fall. It's like, girl, what? Listen, it's crazy out here. Stay safe, because it's crazy. The next thing I want to talk about is Keke Palmer. Yeah, you guys know I love Keke Palmer down. And this week I've just scrolled up and down her TikTok. I think she dropped an album. I guess I am a fake Keke Palmer lover because I haven't listened to the album, but because she dropped some music, she is out like on press tours, whatever, whatever. And if you are a reoccurring viewer, you know how I talked about the movie that she had with SZA, how good it was. It was announced that they are going to do like a second part to it. So I love that for them. I love Keke Palmer. And every clip I see of her, she's just like a walking meme. And I would love to meet her because I think we would definitely get along. She is that girl. And the last thing I want to talk about is, you guys know, Rebecca hates she doesn't hate when people say this, but I love seeing people reach their dreams and like achieving things and all the things. And I get obsessed with things just momentarily. So I just saw that today, or actually not today, earlier this week, a track star by the name of Faith, she was already like the fastest woman in the world to run a mile. It was like 4 minutes and something. But Nike poured into her and they did this whole ad, this whole campaign of like her running a mile under 4 minutes. And so they just actually had the run, and she beat her own prior record, which was like 4 minutes and some change. So unfortunately, she didn't run the mile under 4 minutes, but she broke her previous record. So she ran a mile in 4 minutes and 6 seconds. If you have ever ran in your life, running is not easy. I can't even imagine. Can you imagine? Tell me in the comments, running a mile in 4 minutes.
Well, we used to have to do like those, like the state testing for like our fitness testing, and we had to do a mile. Let me tell you, your girl always been thick, right? Your girl always.
Girl, what was your time? You want to say?
Like 27 minutes, and I walked that thing. I ran 3 seconds. I said, oh no. Once I felt like my chest was about to cave, I said, oh baby, get me off this track right now.
Girl.
But don't let this fool you though. Like, I don't run for fun. But if my life depends on it, oh baby, me and Faith might run the same time.
Girl, listen, Faith got that, and the thing is, she's like a long distance runner, and she already has all her things, all the Olympic medals and all the things, and she's from Kenya. And I just love seeing Black women succeed and go for it. And I know it's very hard to get these big brands to get behind you and give you what you deserve. And so the fact that Nike poured into her and her journey and giving her like the spotlight, and her colleagues showed up for her and were on the track and they made sure that she stayed on pace. Like, I just love that. I love seeing people being supportive and helping people reach their dreams. And, she didn't get the ultimate goal, but as with everything in life, like, you will fail sometimes. Well, it's not a failure because she did beat her prior record, but the fact that no one can take that away from her. Still, as it stands, she is the fastest woman to run a mile at that 4 minutes and 6 seconds. So shout out to Faith. Shout out to Nike for pointing into her. And girl, I could never. I'm like 11 minutes. It takes me like 11 minutes to run a mile. And after that mile, girl, I'm like done.
You see, but my thing is, I think I'm a very fast walker of a mile. Like, I think like I could, like, my 27 minutes bust down.
That's the thing. That's what I love about the Olympics. You learn about new sports. That's like something like speed walking is like a sport. So you might.
I ain't say speed walk. I mean like a nice leisurely pace.
Girl. Be for real.
No, but honestly, I just wanted to say really quickly, yes, congratulations to Faith. Seeing Black women win is just always warming to my heart, because I'm like, there's always somebody who's like, I can do that. I want to be that. Me personally, I know I'm not a runner. So to me, I'm never going to sit there and try to actively obtain that. But I love that you did it, sis. Okay. But I also wanted to talk about something that's really been trending really quickly. Love Island. Now, Shayla knows. Shayla and I talked about this yesterday, and I was telling her, I don't think I could go on Love Island. One, they kiss way too much. I'm so sorry. Get your lips off of me. Matter of fact, put bars on my lips. Don't touch me. But I feel like I would have, and like, I know people judge Huda for her crash out and stuff like that, because her crash out, I feel like you was 3 days in and you was crashing out. If me and my man of 3 weeks, me and you've been talking, we've been coupled up, doing our big one, and you sit there with a girl of 3 days, and I'm specifically talking about Taylor and Olandria, of 3 days, and you talk about you got a stronger connection with her, she's so attractive, she's this, I would crash out so bad. Like, my crash out would feed families. My crash out would literally put food on people's tables, because it would be cinematic. Okay. And it's just like, let me just say this. Taylor and Clark, when the public is allowed to vote again, and I will vote, this will be my first time voting on anything Love Island. Y'all will be together, but y'all will be together at the airport. Y'all are going home. If because of me, I'm sending y'all home. Also, bring Shelly back. Bring Shelly back for Ace, please. Right now, today, tonight. They literally, Shayla, and I don't like to get involved in these shows. And this was the reason why, because I know me. I get emotionally invested. They made me shed tears. They made me shed tears. They sent my girl Olandria home and they brought her back with Nick. I don't think that's going to last, but my man is infatuated. Now, I'm not saying this is the black girl effect or the black girlfriend effect, but I will say there was some sprinkle because, baby, this man came back to the islands, and the moment they go into Soul Ties, my man got on some jeans, a black shirt, gold chain, and some Timbs. I said, sir, where are you going? But y'all,
let me tell you something. If I wish I could add to the conversation, because you guys know I always have opinion about everything. I am not watching the show. I have zero desire to watch the show. Mind you, I'm a rom-com girl, but I just feel like it is cringy. Just the clips that I see, I cannot get into it. And these love shows have a 1%, working rate. Even the ones that come out and they're married and da-da-da. The last it wasn't Love Island. It was the one with the roses or whatever. It was this man that he was the one, whatever. The moral of the story is that every other day it comes out that they're divorcing or they're separated or they're this. I just think the fact that these people quote unquote fall in love that fast is so fake. And I think when you are in front of a camera, you could never really be you for real. You know what I mean? Like the 1 or 2% that actually work out, like shout out to y'all. It's rare. And it's too cringy for me. But the world loves it. I know Peacock right now, the people that are, the owners, the CEOs, they are loving it. They're like, we need Love Island 2, 3, 4. We need Love Island in every state, because as they should, they need to capitalize on this. They need to capitalize on all of this hype.
I will tell you this. After this season, I don't think I could ever watch Love Island again.
Girl, you will.
I'm surprised I even found the time and the emotional bandwidth to even sit there and indulge in this. And because now I'm indulging in it, I'm like literally emotionally invested, and I don't like that for me. To me, like I'm like, this my cousin for real. And like when they sent Olandria home, and she literally said like, I've had to be strong my whole life. Girl, my chest came in because I'm like,
girl. So if you watch Love Island, leave a heart emoji in the comments. But let's get into real life topics. So
yes.
Clearly our week has been weeking, but real life is also happening. Okay. So on June 22nd, 2025, the United States Air Force and Navy attacked 3 nuclear facilities in Iran as part of the Iran-Israel war. The attack, which was given the CUDA name. I hate when people be using words like, girl, you couldn't have just said given the name. Why couldn't they just say name? Anyways, was given the name Operation Midnight Hammer. The moral of the story is that the U.S. attacked Iran in support of Israel, and Iran also got their lick back. And now it's kind of like, oh, well, everything is fine and dandy. They're saying that, well, the U.S. is saying that, the attacks were super successful and they damaged a lot of stuff and blah, 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 blah. Like they, kind of deterred or set back their nuclear sites by years, all of this extra stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And of course, the United States of America and its people, and I'll include myself because we do live here, very unserious. Depending on what side of TikTok you were, baby, the memes were like, we cannot be the adults. It was like, I was seeing like maps, right? And people were like, me telling Iran like what the United States looked like, and they were like eliminating Jersey from the map. The other one was like, I gotta tell Iran like I'm just about to get married, so can they please wait to hit us after I get married? Like it was just jokes on jokes on jokes, and I'm just like, oh my god, like it is a serious situation. Like it's really not a fake thing, but I'm just like, I don't think the United States needs to get involved in any more issues, regardless. Some people feel like, well, we need to speak up and stand up in order to like represent Israel and help Israel. And I'm just like, we do not need to get involved in any more wars, any more situation. And yes, I know that the United States is very strong and that they can fight back, but I'm just like, I'm surely not gonna join no Navy, no nothing. Like, thanks to our troops and shout out to y'all. Cause baby, I might help assist like as being a nurse, but I want zero parts and no wars and none of that. And it's just crazy. Like, you have to continue living life, right? Like, I was reading the news. I think we were actually at the at like this, what was the place where we, like, Surf City. We were at Surf City when I read the news about like all the US strike at Iran or something like that. And I'm just like, you gotta continue living life.
See, my whole thing is, right, first off, the memes had me on the floor. Some people was talking about some like they was talking about some there was like, y'all always worried about like why, because the guy was like, today Iran or no Israel or whatever he said, and then he was like, tomorrow New York, and everybody was like, everybody's attendance went up. I was like, hold up, wait a minute, we don't got nothing
Not
to
too
do with
much.
I said, wait. Because listen, Jersey is so close to New York. If something happens, literally,
Oh, we feel it.
we gonna be just as damaged.
Hello?
Okay. And so my whole thing is, I'm like, I'm sick and tired of when wars and stuff like this happen and the United States gets involved. These people love to be like New York. And as someone who's born and raised in Jersey, we don't got nothing to do with this. The problem is in Washington, D.C. Attack Washington, D.C. Go there. Why you got to come to New York? Why
Don't attack nothing, please. So
No.
also, I was seeing memes also that it was like, that is not my president. Like, if your beef is with Trump, please go handle it with Trump. I'm just here. I'm just living in the United States. Like,
Yeah. And my whole thing is when I found out,
I
like,
didn't vote for him.
right, when I found out that Trump even like executed that whole bombing and stuff like that, I was sitting here, I was just like, you know how many problems you have on your home front for you to get involved in international issues, right? And it's just like, my whole problem with this, like when all of this was happening, I was just like, first of all, if we do happen to join this war and everything like that, I need all his supporters to suit him and boot him. Okay, get up, go fight. Y'all pick this. Go fight today. Women and men, y'all go, right? What?
Thankfully, they have said, like, both sides have said, like, you know,
Yeah,
everything is ceasefire. It was like a tit for tat. We did this and you guys did this. But honestly, I feel like I still don't trust it. You know what I mean? I feel like once you start something, and I know that Trump can be very impulsive and he is just like whatever he feels like. I think before or during these attacks when it was happening, someone asked him like, you know, what have you spoken to Israel, like Benjamin Netanyahu, the president, and da 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 da. And he literally like cursed at a press conference. He didn't care. He was like, oh, they're acting childish and all of this stuff. I'm just like, it's scary to me because I have a whole life ahead of me. And like Rebecca said, we are so close to New York. I don't know why New York, you know, maybe because there's a lot of people. I don't know, but
like,
please,
baby, go somewhere else.
don't
Like,
go nowhere at all. Please.
no, but my thing is, I'm like,
No.
you know, you try and like New York always is turned blue. Go to Florida, go to Texas, go somewhere like that. They got just as many people. Like, I'm just sitting here, I'm like, and like I was also like saying, I was just like, I think it's so funny that when like, let's say like if there wasn't a peace, whatever, right? And we were like, we actively joined the war. Like, I'm like, all them people who are sitting here talking about some go back to where you came from, go back to where you came. I know where I could go. Shayla knows where she could go. Where can you go? Come on, American
They're gonna stay in their lovely country.
Right, y'all stay right here. Y'all can't come to Mexico. Y'all can't come to Haiti. Y'all can't go to none of these places. I know where I can return to. You don't. Y'all gonna stay with Sender. Stay right here.
Girl. Anyway, so that's that. Tell us in the comments when you saw that news about the situation. What was your first thought? What was your first thought, and were you like scared about, you know, what was gonna happen next?
Also, I just want to say this really quickly. Mind you, this is how paranoid we were. It was Sunday. It was June 22nd. I remember sitting here doing my makeup. It was raining. There was lightning and everything like that. And out of nowhere, all I hear is boom. Yo, I swear, I turned to my friend because she slept over. I was like, Deanna, did we just get bombed? And she was like, what? It was the loudest thunder I ever heard in my life. Like, I swear, my house rattled. Like,
I'd be scared because honestly, you be paranoid, especially because I know the person that we have at the, I don't know, because people like, oh, well, that's why no one messes with Trump, and Trump, people are scared of him and da 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 da. But I'm just like, one day you're going to find the right one who's not going to care and is going to, I don't know. I'm pro peace. I am not pro war. And I'm just like, please, let's keep it cute. I don't want to hurt nobody. Please.
Listen, I'm all about like fight if you want to fight, do what you want to do,
No.
right? But my problem is you got to think about the consequences. And the problem here is that, listen, I don't think any president bombed as many countries or whatever as Obama. Okay, Obama used to wake up and say, boom, red button, bomb, right? Ain't nobody play with him. I think people were scared of him because they knew he would wake up and just bomb and have a press conference and talk about the lovely sun.
I don't like that.
Right? But my whole thing is, what's it called? I think it was like a congressional approval or something like that. Is that what it's called? Like when you get signed, like when things are signed off on things like that.
I believe so. At least like when it comes to this type of thing, like sending bombs, you can't just send it. You're supposed to go through an approval process. Trump
didn't get that. Every time Obama bombed, it was congressional approval. So I think that's another thing. It's just like you just went and did whatever you want to do. So I'm just like, sorry.
But that's on brand. That's what he's known to do.
And nobody gonna look at that twice. But we have to be democracy, America. Yeah.
Y'all on to the next news story.
So the next thing we're going to talk about is FICO. So FICO is going to incorporate buy now, pay later loans into credit scores. So FICO.
FICO.
Yeah, I think it's FICO. Correct.
No, it is.
Period. So FICO credit scores will begin incorporating buy now, pay later data for the first time. Over 90 million Americans expected to use buy now, pay later for purchases this year. Critics argue that existing credit scores paint an incomplete picture of an individual's ability to pay back loans. Fair Isaac Corporation, who runs FICO, said Monday that it will launch 2 separate credit scores, including a BNP data. The company said that in a statement, quote, these scores provide lenders with great visibility into consumers' repayment behaviors, enabling a more comprehensive view of their credit readiness, which ultimately improves the lending experience. To me, when I heard this, it's like, oh, y'all thought y'all could get one up on us, I think, kind of thing. So it's like, it's just like, oh, y'all thought y'all not going to repay this? Let me tell you exactly what's about to happen. That's what is given to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure the buy now, pay later. And these are some of the, if you don't know what FICO score is that's essentially your credit score. You know, when you try to buy a house or you want to take out a car or any big purchase, they're usually going to check your credit score to see if they are able to allow you to get set thing, right? Because most people don't have.
I was just saying, like, it shows basically if you're worth the risk,
right? Because most people don't have the like 500K to drop on a house. Like that's just, you know, we be broke right out here. So on the right, you kind of see some of like the buy now, pay later services, which is like Klarna. Klarna is like, I feel like the most known one. Clear Pay, Open Pay, Affirm, So that's why we mean by like, usually or before the FICO, before this new initiative, none of that data was part of your FICO score, your credit score. But now they're saying actually a lot of y'all been using Afterpay and not paying back, but your credit score was looking 800. So now, in order to paint a clearer picture, we're going to add that in. And so I do think that this new initiative is going to impact a lot of people, because I always say this. You may think that you can one up the government and taxes and all of these things, but the government, in due time, they will collect theirs.
They said, let's run this back real quick.
Yes, they said, oh, y'all was having fun? Okay, now let's have real fun. Let's get on this roller coaster ride.
Right. I think for me, I feel two ways about it. I'm like, one, it's just like, dag, we can't have nothing. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, yeah, hold them accountable. Like, I don't use Klarna, I don't use Affirm, like I don't use none of those pay now, like so pay now, pay later, buy now,
Buy
pay
now,
later.
pay
Yeah.
later.
I don't use none of those stuff because it's like, for me, I'm like, if I don't have it, I don't need it. Like, that's the mentality that I like to use.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm already in so much debt when it comes to student loans and credit cards and stuff like that. I don't need to add this onto my plate because then I'm gonna be more stressed and I'm gonna lose my mind probably. But it's just like, for the people who do that, I do know some people who use and abuse that. I know some people who are like, oh, my thing is at 800.
Oof.
I'm like, baby, pay that back. There's interest. You know that, right? Yeah. Like, pay that back. And so like when I'm like, it's basically like a credit card without a credit card type of thing. And I feel like people don't think about the consequences. And it's just like, if you do know, we all know having your credit score is very important. If you want to buy almost anything, especially in America. Are you worth the risk or are you not worth the risk? I know some people who literally can't even purchase half the stuff that they want because their credit score is in the ground.
Yeah. And I think when you're younger, you don't pay any of that mind. But the older you get, trust me, you will need that credit score. The last thing you want is like, oh, yeah, that's cute that you have the money. But sometimes it don't matter if you have the money. They still want to ensure that you have that credit score. And so, yeah, don't play around with that. I know people that also use Afterpay and this and that, but I'm not going to knock anyone for using that. Use it. But I just feel like if you got to pay it back. Things may have been sweet before, but you know, the credit score people, they said, oh yeah, no, let's wrap this game up. And sure enough, they have. Or at least they'll start in, I believe that they'll start accounting that data in the fall of 2025. So
basically, if you got any lingering payments, pay that today.
Right.
And I want everybody to really take it seriously because, like, yes, you may have a great credit score right now, but another thing that you don't understand is like the line of credit. Like, how long has your credit been established for? That's another thing, and another thing that they put onto it. So it's like, take it seriously, especially if you want to be independent, buy your own stuff, investing and everything like that. Like, take it seriously. That's all I can say.
So good luck if you've been struggling to get your credit score up. Maybe it's not the best that you use things like buy now, pay later. On to the next thing. Another big story this week has been the SCOTUS, Supreme Court of the United States, has come down with a lot of rulings, right? And the one that we want to focus on today has to do with Planned Parenthood and Medicaid, right? So states can block Planned Parenthood from receiving Medicaid money for health services such as contraception and cancer screenings. The Supreme Court ruled on Thursday, right? So this ruling or this case was brought up this case was brought from South Carolina, right? A specific state, right? So the Supreme Court ruled in favor of South Carolina on Thursday in a 6-3 vote, allowing the state, aka South Carolina, to exclude Planned Parenthood from its Medicaid program, effectively blocking the organization, aka Planned Parenthood, from receiving Medicaid funding for non-abortion services like birth control, cancer screenings, and other preventative care. This decision means that Medicaid patients in South Carolina will no longer be able to use their insurance to receive these services at Planned Parenthood clinics. And I just don't understand why people keep focusing on things that do not matter. If you've never been to Planned Parenthood or like, oh, what's Planned Parenthood? This is essentially like what it looks like, or their logo. They're like, if you ever been to a urgent care, it's like urgent care, but when specific to reproductive type of needs, right? So Planned Parenthood offers a wide range of health services, including birth control, STD testing and treatment, HIV services, cancer screenings, and abortion care. So now this is saying, right, the Supreme Court said that it is okay for a state to say that, oh, if you are receiving Medicaid or if you are covered under Medicaid, you can no longer go to Planned Parenthood to receive non-abortion care. how is that helping the people of your state?
My whole thing is, right, and I was explaining this a little bit to Shayla. To me, it confuses me because there's times where we are a very pick and choose type of society, right? And so people love to be like, the state shouldn't be in my business when it comes to vaccinating your children, when it comes to education, things like that. But then there's times where states are like, oh, actually, I'm going to implement this. And y'all like, yes, the state should be involved. Y'all pick and choose what y'all want the state involved in, and you pick and choose what you don't want the state involved in. It can't happen both ways. It can't. Do you want to stay involved in your everyday affairs or do you not? Right? And so, like, to me, it's people are bothered by Planned Parenthood, and I feel like people are bothered by it because of the fact that like people do go there for abortions. But that's not all Planned Parenthood does. Like, when you get your screenings, when you get your STD checks and everything like that, like, there's more to it. But people want to be bought. If you have never walked into a Planned Parenthood a day in your life, why are you so concerned about it? And the thing is, it's all these men making decisions for women. And it's just like, you literally came from a woman. You literally came from one. And the fact of the matter is, maybe your mother should have walked into an abortion center and actually not had you. Because if you're going to make decisions like this, it's like you are a waste of a brain molecule. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely ridiculous. And also, again, these people are always targeting minorities, low income. It don't matter your race, to be honest, because if you are a low income white person, you are most likely being covered under Medicaid. And so I just want you to know that that is on purpose, right? Because if you are already struggling, and let's say now you can't go to Planned Parenthood to get your STD or ST whatever testing, not all sexually transmitted diseases are the same. Some of them, like, you can live untreated, okay, great. Others you can't, and it may impact your life and how you operate around the world. And it's just like, instead of helping people, why are we making it harder? And I do truly believe is that they do want life to be harder for low income people. You know what I mean? And also, it's like they're making all of these decisions, and I don't think it has nothing to do with, like, clearly they don't care about anybody. But I just want you to know that this is all to put up a front. Because if these leaders, the leader of South Carolina or whatever, because this is setting a precedent for other states, right? Because Trump is like, no, we want all states to be in charge of making their own decisions, right? Okay, so now with this ruling, if you live in a red state and they want to, follow the same guidelines, oh, they said that for our budget, we could ensure that we don't allow Medicaid individuals to be able to go to Planned Parenthood. Like, it just creates a snowball effect. But also, the point that I wanted to get at is, like, if these right-wing leaders wanted to get a family member, an aunt, uncle, or whatever, an abortion, trust and believe they will go out there and get an abortion. If they needed to get a cancer screening for their family member, they will get it. It's never really about their morals. They're lying. You know what I mean? Because if they had to do it for them and theirs, they will do it. But they're only worried about their people. They don't care about you. And that's why I always say, like, people don't care about voting and they don't care about politics. But until it does bother you or until it impacts you, it may be already too late. Because I know a lot of people that are, covered under Medicaid. And I think people have this misconception that Planned Parenthood is just for abortions. You guys saw, I read it here. It's not just abortions. You know what I mean? They provide HIV services and birth control and all of these things that are so essential. And again, these are the same people that claim that they care about women and we don't want men in women's sports. Like, you are worrying about stuff that don't even matter. You're trying to take away these, where I could go and get birth control to help me feel better, to be able to practice well at, my sport. But instead you say you care about me, but you're taking away things over here. They don't really care about you. It's all just a lie.
And my whole thing is, right, I think it also is very interesting to me in terms of, like, what they decide to police engage, because it's just like whenever the conversation of like pro-life or pro-choice comes up, people are always like, well, if you use protection, none of this could happen. Y'all do. I think condoms are like 98.2% effective or whatever it is, because you never know what could happen. And then people are like, well, stay like, don't sustain in sex. And it's just like, everybody knows everything comes with consequences. We all understand this. And I'm very big on like, take accountability.
Right.
I feel like if people decide I don't want a child because I will not be, first off, I cannot provide an accurate life for my child. I can't provide anything for a child. I would be a terrible parent. When they're getting dumped into the foster system, nobody's like, oh my God, maybe if the Planned Parenthood did it, could have saved their life. No one says nothing like that.
Because they're also cutting funding for that too. So it's like they don't
like, drop them into the system. It's like y'all care about what people are doing or what's growing inside of their bodies. But then the moment that child comes out, it's just like, well, thanks so much for your contribution to society. What are you good? You're not going to do nothing for them.
It's super
just like
hypocritical.
Y'all pick and choose, because it's just like, for me, and I know this is like on a grade, like on a scale of like extreme to whatever. It's like if y'all sit there and say like, oh, you just don't have sex and you won't need an abortion. It's like, okay, DUIs wouldn't happen if you just didn't drink. Like, it's like you're like, I get it. I do get it. Like, some people are like, oh, like I would never do that. That's great for you. That is great for you. The great thing about being a human and living in this society that we like to call the free world is that you can make the decisions that best fit you, your life, your morals, everything like that. That's great for you. But just because somebody has a differing opinion on what they would do that's best for them, that has nothing to do with you. And I think that's like, I'm like, I don't want, like, whenever people are like, oh, like, are you pro-life, pro-choice? I'm pro-mind my business. What you do for you in your life is going to be what you do for you in your life. What I do for me in my life is going to be what I do for me in my life, because that's what works for me. You don't go to sleep and think about my problems. You don't wake up thinking about the task that I have to do, because that's my business. The fact that I don't got eggs in my kitchen, are you going to go to the store for me to get me eggs? No, you don't care about me. I got to go get that for myself. It's like y'all worried about people's
and business. I think the reason why these like people in their mind, they're like, oh, well, because you are using like government assistance or government health insurance, in their mind is like, oh, well, you don't have a right to dictate or like use our money for your benefit, in a sense, which in itself is ridiculous. And again, this is just an example of how, they're like hypocritical.
But that's like me saying you can't use my tax money to fund a war. Like, that's literally like, if that's the case, like, if we're going like,
right, if we're going toe for toe, let's go.
Like, let's really do it. I just don't get it. Like,
it's insane. But on to the next topic. I don't really want to talk too much about it, but I just want to mention it because like I said, we do live in Jersey, but New York, Jersey, tri-state area, the big things. So last week we talked about the Jersey governor primaries, but this week it was the New York's, and it was kind of like not what it was expected, right? So in the New York governor primaries, zohranmamdani won over Andrew Cuomo, who was expected to win the Democratic nominee, mainly because of his name recognition, right? Like, Mamdani is way more progressive and he's like the younger person. But I think because of how effective he used social media, he was all over social media and he went to the Breakfast Club. Like, he was very whoever his head of comms did their big one, and he would be like using the public transportation. I remember I saw an ad of him where he was like at a bodega, and he made sure that he tapped into all of the minority communities, and he did his big one. And now he won the Democratic nomination for to become New York mayor's or governor. I mean, so when that race happens, he will be facing the one and only Eric Adams. So we'll see. Eric Adams is running as an independent, so that's why it's like it doesn't matter. He's like, good luck to New York. We'll see who they vote for.
I just think it's just so funny because every time I see Eric Adams, I'm just like, I bust out laughing because like this man is truly like, I don't know if he's intentionally trying to be comical, but he actually is very comical in terms of like, sir, what are you doing? It's very much like, Ariana, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Like,
He had this thing with Kai Cenat, and I'm just like,
and it's like he does that thing. What was the guy that we were talking about with the water, the blue water? What was his name? Ashton.
Oh yeah, the one that was running.
Yeah, so like he does like his kind of morning routines now where he'll be like 6 a.m., 6:01, 6:02, and it's just like you got too much time to be doing stuff on social media when you're not even doing stuff for your own city.
You're supposed to be focused on trying to win re-election, which, like I've mentioned in this podcast, the people of New York do not like Eric Adams. But we'll see who they end up voting as their new governor in the general
election. I will say about what was his name?
Mamdani.
Yeah, I saw like I'm not really into like the whole New York thing. Like I'm just like, oh, okay. Like I see little snippets here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But like every snippet that I've seen, I'm like, yo, like he be low key clapping back hard as life. Like he be like, I'm like, oh.
He's definitely like very young and understands the culture, the vibe of New York. And a lot of like the younger generation I have seen gravitate for him for real. And like, you know, they showed out, right? Because it was not expected for him to beat Andrew Cuomo. Keep in mind, Cuomo was like forced to resign when he was a whole lot of dilemma. New York does not have luck with their governors, so we'll see if maybe next
governors
year.
and mayors, girl, like
just politicians in general. But I get it, girl, because Jersey also has its mess. But anyways, that was the news. Let's get into the fun stuff in our social corner.
Yes. So if you are new here, basically our social corner is the things that we've seen you guys, people everywhere talk about on social media, what's been trending on my TikTok, Shayla's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, any little thing we see on social media that we see is trending. We want to give our voices and talk about it too. Like we want to be like, hey, what's up? Let's talk about it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is Jeff Bezos. If you shop on Amazon, then you know who he is. If you don't shop on Amazon, then you know who he is. Like this man is known. Okay. So he's getting married. Right, so
this is them right here. I'm gonna do a Rebecca. Can you guys see?
Yes.
Him and his.
Look at that bald head. It's giving. What's the dude from Austin Powers? He'd be like, that's what it's giving. I think it's Dr. Evil or whatever his name is, right? So a starry guest list of celebrities are in Venice, Italy for the weekend wedding of, like I mentioned, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos and his current fiance, soon to be wife, Lauren Sanchez, right? So activists have united under a banner called saying no space for Bezos to protest the nuptials, and protesters were basically drawing attention. Yep, that's the sign. I think that's the banner. Yeah, that's the banner. We're basically drawing attention to the over tourism, high housing costs, and the constant threat of climate-induced flooding in the lagoon city. So when I saw this, like I think at one point they had to move the venue because like there was protesters outside of it. I think for me, what it is like when I see this, and I just think it's very random for him to. I don't know why he went to Italy.
Well, I feel like a lot of people like Italy because it's very beautiful. I mean, I've never been, but it's very beautiful.
I was like, oh, okay. But like, I'm like, this man has enough money in the world, like to move the wedding. You know how expensive it is to move a wedding? You know how expensive it is to have a wedding? I'm like,
what you mean?
Like, I'm just saying, like, this man got so much money. I really don't, like, the protesters not really doing much. It's going to still happen. So what's next?
Yeah, but I feel like it's still okay to voice your opinion about it, how you don't believe that, you know.
Right, but talk to your person. Just like if there's protests happening, people are going against Trump. They're not going to sit here and, like, I don't know. Just to me, I'm just like, okay. If I was Jeff Bezos, I'm like, why y'all talking to me? Talk to your people. Like, why are you talking to me? At least that's what I'm thinking. in my
Yeah,
mind.
but I feel like that's very much like high horse type of vibe. Like, okay, you don't think that these leaders are attending this wedding? I'm pretty sure they got an invite because you just not letting anyone. I'm pretty sure they're shutting down a lot of things to make this wedding happen because you have so many high profile celebrities. You're not just like, like I'm sure they shutting down a few little areas around Venice that is gonna be like VIP only. I get what you're trying to say is like go talk to your leaders, but I feel like this is where they're from. So if they feel like they wanna protest, they should. You know what I mean? That comes with the territory. You can't be mad at people for that's like protests that have happened in Puerto Rico with like the over tourism, right? And I'm sure people still go to Puerto Rico, but a lot of people that actually live in the island, it's like, well, they feel like this is the only way that, they might get coverage. Probably in America, they're not getting that much coverage about Venice, Italy, what's happening there. But now they do have a chance to get covered. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty,
Yeah,
there's a deeper thought into it.
I get what you're saying. I think just for me, it's kind of like I'm a very like what's next type of person. So it's just like what next was like to move the venue. It's just like it's kind of just like, oh, it's going to happen regardless kind of thing to me in my mind.
No, I think you're definitely right. I think the people that are protesting are thinking long term, and this obviously they know that the wedding venue is not going to move, but they are getting media coverage, and I'm sure the leaders in Venice are sick right now because it's like, girl, we do not need this press. We're trying to talk about all things wedding. So sometimes you do need these things for long-term type of future. Exactly. But anyways, if you are into this type of thing, the wedding is expected to be big, lavish, beautiful, all the things. And I'm sure we will see all the photos.
I expect nothing less. I'm sure her dress about to be like, what, 1,000% pure silk. Like, I just know it's about to be something crazy.
Yeah, but I love this sign that is like, if you can rent Venice for your wedding, you can pay more taxes.
I saw that. I was like, and that's how you clock the thing.
Period. So on to the next thing, talking about taxes and money. Our good sister, actually, our good sister bsimone. If you don't know bsimone, she has been around on social media for a very long time. She has rise and falls on fame for a lot of different things. But this week she was back on the scene. Keep in mind, she's never left, but she went viral again this week. This time for a clip of her podcast where she expressed with teary eyes that her finances aren't the best right now and she had to leave. Well, I want you to hear from her. Keep in mind, she was like about to cry. Her friend joined her on the podcast and she was expressing how she is on a fast right now, right? Like a religious fast. Yeah, religious, spiritual. So she's only drinking water and some sort of like vitamins, and that's it. And her friend is asking her like, oh, because the whole fast is like when she's looking for answers for something, like in terms of her life, she goes on the fast. And until she gets the answer to whatever it is that she's asking God for, she doesn't end it. So her friend is asking her like, do you think like what answer you're looking for? Anyways, let me play the clip because hear it from her.
Although you can't see it because sometimes our spirit does know.
Like, I feel like it's breakthrough with what I'm creating with the app. I feel like there's been so much financial, just my finances, like the budgeting. You see how I am nitpicking every little thing. I've never been like that. We were in Bloomingdale's yesterday. I'm like, we have to go to H&M.
Yeah,
like I notice it in me now, just nitpicking, and it's not even. I just don't have it like to spend the liquid. Yeah, I'm used to having liquid, and because I've invested in this app and this platform, I don't have the liquid. I got the money, not yet. It's coming. I have it in assets. I have it in jewelry. I have it in. But it's like the liquid. I'm used to seeing a certain amount in my account.
But you're also used to a hustle mentality.
For sure.
And this time when you set out to do the app, you said that you wanted to do something that was legacy.
That's going to have longevity.
Not quick. Yes, you don't.
I don't want it. I don't want it quick, and I'm not complaining. Yeah, I know that. I believe in what we're building. Yeah, but I think that that's what I'm fighting. Use the microwave, and this app is a crock pot. Wow. This app is a slow cooker. Wow. And you're gonna reap the benefits of it later, but right now you're sowing seeds into that.
Anyways, so a few things. Obviously, y'all know that sound has gone viral on TikTok. I already made my version of it. I put my little wallet. I was like gathering my pennies to head to H&M. I'm just like, listen, I know I'm not the most religious, spiritual person, but I do believe in God. And I grew up in a Catholic household. And I believe that when you actually are in a real, true, real life spiritual journey, you know that God does not put value on name brands and how much money you got. The fact that you're saying, I know I got it in jewelry and purses, like, well, that in itself is a problem. I think you are not really deep in God and all of that if you are still putting that much energy into materialistic things. But that's just me. And the other thing is I know you have not been broke for real. If you consider going to H&M as like lowering your standards, because maybe when I started, heading into H&M, that's how I knew. I'm like, wow, I'm making it because I can go to H&M and get things that I want. Because growing up, it was Payless. Shout out to Payless. You're not here no more, but Payless, the 2-for-1s, that was my thing. Okay. My thing was like in downtown Patterson, the little stores that it was gonna break after 2 washes. Like, that is when you're really struggling financially. You having to head out of Bloomingdale's, which I've never purchased nothing a day in my life, to head to H&M, and you're crying about it like it's sad. I never want to minimize someone's emotions because that's your truth. But I feel like you can't put God and spirituality as like, because God don't really care about stuff like that. God is like, you don't put, what matters. I don't know. And then she's saying it's because of her app. And this is like the logo of her app right here. The app is called LTTA app, and it's a woman-focused app, aims to create a safe and empowering community. It offers exclusive content such as behind-the-scenes interviews, journal prompts, and access to private events and retreats. And so I'm just like, God, Bloomingdale's to H&M. I'm just like, I guess, child.
It's like I busted out laughing because it was just, listen, and like Shayla says, I'm not trying to minimize no one's emotions because that could truly be triggering.
You ain't never been broke a day in your life. If you listen, to tell you, like, I've had to gather coins to head to like the machines where you could get like real dollars for your coins. That's my truth. Or like when it's so hot out and you don't own an AC, you got to go to the mall to actually cool down. That's brokenness. You are not really broke for real if you just got to head to H&M. I thought H&M was like high quality. Is it like, not?
So, to me, right, when she was like, I had to leave Bloomingdale's, and we're like, we need to leave here. I need to go to H&M. I'm like, first off, I didn't know people still shop at Bloomingdale's. And this is no shade to the people who shop at Bloomingdale's, but it's just like, it was never one in my tax bracket. And 2, I just feel like you got to be I feel like people of a certain age shop there. But again, it's not in my tax bracket. So what do I know? But I do know H&M. I do know Zara. I do know these places. And like, to me, every time like I've walked into H&M, I'm like, oh, like from like the style of clothes and everything, I'm like, oh, this real cotton. Like, to me, I'm like, I don't think that is like less than. And if I was H&M, I would be offended, 1. But 2, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I just felt like, again, it is her truth. And maybe like, she's used to a certain like tax bracket, like you said, and the stuff that she gets. And so I just think the world received it in a different way because a lot of us are living paycheck to paycheck, or don't have that much money. So for us to hear it being something of a like crying matter that you had to head into H&M is like, Girl, I had into H&M laughing and so happy because I could afford these $40 jeans. You know what I mean? Like, it was just, the world, America isn't serious, and we had to get that laughing. I surely was laughing at it, not at her, but it's just like, again, coming from where I come from, H&M is, I'm not gonna say top tier. I know it's not top tier, but is like, you're doing good in life and you could just go into H&M and buy whatever you want.
So like, I just want, like, my last point is, like Shayla had mentioned before we even started talking about all this, is like, Simone has been in a lot of controversy over the years, right? Her whole thing with DaBaby, and then you had the whole thing where I'm paraphrasing, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but there was like a whole thing where she had basically said about like dating people with a 9 to 5 or something like that, like it not being for her. Like she had made some sort of comments about people who work 9 to 5s. And it's just like, you were trying to bash on them, talk bad on them, talk down on people who work a 9 to 5 because they aren't afforded every opportunity or don't have the chances and opportunities that you have. And then now you over here crying because you have to go to Bloomingdale's instead of H&M. Girl, go purchase an M&M, sit down and talk to a therapist and God at the same time, because I don't know where like the disconnect is. And like on the Breakfast Club, Charlemagne and Jess Hilarious were talking about this, and they were basically saying like, the reason why Simone doesn't have like the support and stuff is because you make yourself unrelatable to the people who follow you. The people who follow you are not the billionaires, the millionaires, and things like that. They laugh at your content. They look at your content. Some of them have literally watched you rise up. Those people work 9 to 5s. Those people actually have paying jobs, live paycheck to paycheck, and don't even know what a Bloomingdale's looks like. So for you to sit there, get on your podcast and be like and it's like, I get it, it's your truth and everything like that, but there's a level of humility that you need to have. There's a understanding that you need to have of the people who support you. And the thing that made her so popular in the beginning is like, I never found her content funny, but that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you make this funny content that people can, mind you, their everyday harsh reality for an everyday person. They look at your content, they get to forget about that, right? So it's just like, you got to remember who your audience is. And like, people connect with our podcast because we say things that relate to them, or they like our mindset on stuff. But if I'm sitting here and I'm talking about like, not everybody who follows us is Dominican or Haitian. They can't relate to that
Puerto
certain stuff.
Rican.
Or Puerto Rican. You're right. Dominican, Puerto Rican, Haitian, right? So it's just like, you got to understand who your audience is. And there is a large disconnect when you sit here and you are on a couch complaining about going to Bloomingdale's, and then you can't afford stuff, you got to go to H&M.
And then the thing that really, I think, triggers me, or the point that's laughable, as someone, again, I was raised in a Catholic household.
Me too.
And I know that when you are truly following God and you are really in, like, for real, deep down in your journey, a fast is cute and dandy. But if you still put this much emphasis and care on materialistic things, I just don't really believe that you are that deep into your spiritual journey, and the fast is not working. Or like, yeah, you're doing it, but your intentions are still not on the right things. And that's just me, how I feel personally. Of course, I'm always welcome to, your opinions, but every like true spiritual person that I've met, they are not putting emphasis on name brand stuff.
And it just gives very like forced, like theatrical.
Yes. And I think that's why people laugh, because it's like, girl, what? Anyways, we already over time, but we got to tell us in the comments how you feel about that. You guys saw the video. What was your response when you saw that? But next, let's talk about our fave, Cardi B, the one and only.
Right. So Cardi B and Stefan Diggs, y'all, they have been like breaking the internet for a while now, especially because like people are like, we know the drama that Cardi B and Offset have gone through, the divorce and everything in terms of like finances, spousal support, this, that, and the third. Like, we've talked about it all. Right. And one of the things that we've seen is that Cardi B and Stefan Diggs, they've been locked in, right? And nobody really knew the status of like their relationship. Like, most of us just thought they're just having fun. They just living life, living la vida loca. And like, for me, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Cardi, but what I do like is seeing people go from heartbreak to some form of stability, to showing that they're making an effort to move on, progress past like the trauma into like a better for them, right? So I still kind of feel this way, that I don't feel like it's gonna last long. I feel like they're having fun. And as she should, you were just in a relationship for how long? And you've had to deal with so much mess, so much drama. Have your fun. Don't get into another serious relationship. Like, do as you will, do as you want, right? But recently, Stefan Diggs rented out a castle for my sis. Is it celebrating her birthday? I think, Shayla, is it?
I don't think so. It was just cuz type of vibe.
Like, just rented a castle. Sis talk about something. They about to be bumping bumpies for like throughout every part of the castle. Girl, honestly, if I was Cardi B and a man, and I know y'all gonna be like, Dad, Rebecca, you easy. Okay, but you're not purchasing a castle for me. Sorry.
Well, it's not purchase, rent.
Well, like renting a castle for me. And like that's literally the idea I said to Shayla yesterday. I was like, girl, what if I rent a castle for my birthday? And Shayla was like, girl, shut it down.
Right.
Shut it down.
Please. Your birthday was just 2 days ago. Let us recover.
But one thing I will say, right? Also, let me just mention Cardi B did drop her single called Outside. And if you remember, like in a few episodes ago where she had went on, like, she's like, tell your mom she raised up. I'm outside, right? So like she basically released that song, and she also announced that her album that's titled Am I the Drama will be dropping on September 19th, right?
First of all, I love the title because I feel like we are dramatic, so I just think that's funny.
Girl, I felt that when I ask myself that all the time. Like I either ask myself, am I the problem? Am I the drama? It gotta be, because there's no way, right? Especially when you keep getting hit after hit after hit. It's like, is it me? Like, am I the reason?
And this is like a long awaited album, because ever since I believe it was Invasion of Privacy, when you have a one hit wonder, the people are like, oh, first of all, she has been able to sustain with her singles, and she has done features here and there, but everybody keep clocking her of like, when's the album coming? When's the album coming? And the albums have not been coming, but the kids have, and people were like coming at her, but like, you got that. Being a celebrity is hard, child, but the moral is that a date has been set, an album is ready to go, and she has a man that's taking her to castle. So, baby, when you are in the struggle, it's really hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. But right now, she has left that dark tunnel. She is enjoying herself in the light, and who knows if they will be able to, sustain this. But at the end of the day, she is happier now. She is with her man. She got her kids. I know Offset is off for real, and he's sick, but that's none of my business.
And my whole thing is, right, one thing I do like is, especially like with people like, I feel like with like us, right? As the people, like, we grew up in Caribbean households, like, being the one, like, a lot of things go through us and like things like that, and like growing up very fast. I think a lot of times our inner children are not fed, right? Because we had to grow up so fast. We're not able to like, be as joyous in certain moments as everybody else. And like, I feel like I mean, granted, social media is not real, but like a lot of the snippets that I do see of them, like when it's not them being recorded on purpose or nothing like that, it seems like her inner child is being fed. And I love that for her, because honestly, like, it's very easy to allow life to like swallow you whole, and you forget that you can be bubbly, you can have fun, you can do whatever life and enjoy life, or like whatever in those moments of drama or trauma, like you can pause and have fun. I just like that her inner child is being fed. I feel like for me, especially like this reason why I was saying earlier, like I was like, oh, if a man ever rented a castle for me, I might give you a kid. It's because like for me, I've always like considered myself like a little princess. Like I've always like, a lot of girls have that dream of being a princess. If a man rented a castle for me, the way my like 4-year-old Rebecca would just jump out of my chest, I just love that for her. Oh, we're done. Got it.
No, I love that for her too. I love Cardi B down, and the haters will always have something to say, and we wish her the best of luck. Well, I wish her the best of luck, whether it works out or not. We deserve to have fun, like
right. You make
when
memories.
the guys are are doing their thing, it's like, oh, he a man, he getting da-da-da. And when a woman does anything, people automatically call her names and this and that. Mind you, Cardi B even fought for Offset, and he still went out there and played. So it gets to a point like, I'll take you back. But when I say I'm done, oh baby, I am done.
And then people love to do that stupid excuse. Oh, well, she ain't never with her kids. And where's the dad? Like, y'all always trying to clock something that don't need to be clocked. When you have, how do y'all like to use this phrase? It takes a village. And then when people have a village and they not with their kids as much, or like you are not in their lives, you don't know what's being posted, and you sit there and talk about, well, she ain't never with her kids. Find a new excuse. Find a new excuse.
Oh my God, I feel like I just realized I look like whitewash with this, for real, like literally with this light.
Oh, now you look a little tan, mommy.
That's why I'm like, girl, I am not that white. What is happening? Anyways, let's talk about the next TikTok.
Yes. So there was a TikTok trend gone wrong, or was it right? We don't know. So basically, let me break it down for you guys.
This is them right here.
There was a couple, right? So there's this trend going on TikTok right now where girls will like text their man like how many likes do I need to get on TikTok or whatever platform it is for you to buy me this, right? Some people are putting purses, some people put shoes, some people do this. Like, it's very random, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the man will respond and be like, oh, it's gonna take this much. So this girl wanted 2 Coach purses, and she's like, he was like, double your followers, 50K likes, a comment from Coach, and then she's like, you're asking for a lot, and he's like, not enough, and a comment from Clark Peoples, right? So if you are on TikTok a lot, you know who Clark Peoples is. She's like, you know, basically kind of like I want to say like a black girl's fantasy kind of vibe. Like, she gets taken out on dates, flown out. She got this, and she's also very smart, very beautiful, speaks up for herself, and like is very intellectual, right?
But I do want to say, I'm sorry, before you continue. The first slide says, I asked him, quote, how many likes for a wedding gift?
Yes.
From Coach.
Yes.
Wedding
so this is for the wedding, correct? So she wants this basically as her wedding gift, 2 Coach bags, right? So after that happened, it kind of went viral, and people were basically sending it to Clark Peoples, like, girl, like, this is what the girl said, this, that, and third. So Clark basically made a video.
You want me to play it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's play this video.
You guys, I kept getting tagged in this video of this girl whose fiance was saying, like, if she got 50,000 likes on a post, doubled her followers, got a comment from me, like, jumped through a hula hoop of fire, climbed to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro, and, like, I don't know, sourced some shit from the Titanic shipwreck, he would buy her 2 bags for their wedding gift. Ciao, I just went and bought the bags. We are not doing none of that. Send me your address so I can ship these to you, and sir, you better top this for your wedding gift to that queen. Thank you.
So right, when people saw that, they was like, clock the T. First off, embarrassing. First off, Coach, a bag from Coach is like 200, sometimes 150, could be 300. I don't see it going past 350. But I'm like, girl, sir, what? So the fact that Clark even went and purchased the bag and said, send me your address, everybody's like, oh, you ate down. They was like, Clark is the husband of the relationship, right? So the girl basically made a video because everybody was like coming at her man, and praising Clark, like, girl, this, that, and the third. So the girl basically made a video, and she was just like, thank you, Clark. I didn't expect this to happen. She was like, who knew a trend that everybody else was doing would cause me and my man to get bashed? This, that, and the third. She was like, my man has a doctorate degree. He's not broke. He's this, that.
Yeah, she was like, fortunately, he's not broke or something like that.
And it's just like, girl, it's giving, who are you trying to fool? Who are you trying to prove it to? It's giving, girl, get you a new man. Like,
we're married.
Like, I personally, I'm very big on signs. I'd have took this as a sign, for real. The moment Clark said, girl, I bought it for you, I looked at my man. They took a TikTok video. You know me for how long? And you couldn't just say, baby, I got this. I saw some people doing the same trend, and their man texted them like, you don't need no likes. Just give me some time to get this, right? And it's just like, people are like, okay, granted, they're like, okay, cool, you got a rich man, but you don't have a generous man. I just think the whole trend it really backfired on them. I think that they need to reevaluate their relationship. I saw some people speculating that her man never texted that she was texting on his phone, like for a back and forth. Whatever it is, the all of it is that Clark bought the bags. You got your bags, sis. If you are going through with your relationship, y'all really need to make sure y'all sit down with the marital counselor and talk about this situation and see maybe if y'all need to hold off on the wedding for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, when I see stuff like this that is so baffling to me, my automatic response is it has to be fake or it's a setup. Like, I just don't think that's real. And the weirdest thing to me is like how he knew Clark. You know what I mean? Like, to name it so specific, it's
It's just
like
so random.
I mean, like, granted, when you are around your partner, I'm like maybe you talk about her a lot, so like then your partner just knows that you really like this person. But that was just weird. And also, I think when it comes to like a wedding, we're not talking like boyfriend, girlfriend. A wedding gift, a Coach bag being like a wedding gift that I'm asking for, I think you should be able to afford that. Like, if you can't afford a Coach bag, then maybe you shouldn't be having a wedding. Is that mean?
Listen, I completely understand that. I think for me, and it's like I'm trying to put myself in that predicament. Like, if I decided to do that trend or anything, and I had like a husband or something, well, a fiance.
Oh, I wouldn't even post it because the fact that
Okay.
you asked for all that, I'm not even posting that because that's embarrassing.
And my thing is, like, I love the Dior brand, and Dior is way more expensive than a Coach bag. So it's like I can see if my man was like, oh, like 50K likes or something like that. I'm like, okay, like, let's see what happens. Maybe if that's something I wanted to post. But I just feel like it's very like, what was the reason? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Y'all let us know for sure. But I just think it's very much.
I don't know. And the thing is, like, when you participate in these social media trends, you think is all just jokes and you don't really know what's going to go viral. Sometimes the things that you least think is going to go viral goes viral. And then the fact that you made it public and you put it on social media, you are opening yourself up for people to put their 2 cents into it, right? Like, you're saying, oh, fortunately, he does have a doctorate degree. Well, just because you have a doctorate degree doesn't mean you have money, especially because we know about student loan debt. You know what I mean? Like, I know the debt is deep. And so, or maybe not, maybe you were blessed and you got all the a full ride for the doctorate program, whatever. Anyways, we wish you guys the best of luck. I just think Clark was like, that's a boss move right there because, even Clark gets a lot of slack because she has high standards. But the reason why she has these high standards is because she knows she is that girl. She can get herself whatever she wants. So she is not going to lower it for nobody, whether you like it or not. She knows what she deserves and what she wants. Period.
And I think a lot of times when it comes to standards, people don't realize where it roots from. Sometimes the standards root from seeing people actually do it for you and automatically be an expectation that you love because that's what you feel like you deserve. And also it comes from like what you see lacked. Like, if I constantly see this one thing is lacked, I'm going to make this the norm for me.
Right.
So, especially the type of content Clark creates. And if you know who she is, like Shayla said, she has standards. These standards are usually met. She's very intelligent. She speaks up for herself, everything like that. So the fact that you even sat here and dragged that girl into it and she showed you, baby, we're going to have to talk. Right. I'll be like, Clark, when we going on a date? Because at this point, you my man, for real.
Listen, the future wife said that that's her man and he got it and they're all together. So
what's the
best of luck.
She don't want to be saved. Don't save her. She
right.
Don't want to be saved, like, literally.
So the last point we want to talk about on our social corner is Rod. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing. I'm pretty sure it's Rod, but he is a Twitch streamer from Philly, and he is currently doing a 30-day. I hate when I just be stuttering. Like, my English just be non-existent.
No bueno right now.
So Rod is a Twitch streamer from Philly, and he is currently doing a 30-day stream from American Dream Mall. If you've never heard of American Dream Mall, it's like the biggest mall. I don't know if just in Jersey or around the world, but it's a big mall. And so this is a little interview that he did with Complex where he kind of is explaining it and how he got into it.
We took a whole storefront and turned it into my room.
Oh my gosh. We just talked off camera about your upcoming 30-day stream challenge that's going to be at the American Dream Mall.
Yes.
And I saw the promo that you posted for it. Was the inspiration behind it from the movie At the Museum with Ben Stiller?
Absolutely. When you planning like a project with streaming and you want to be creative, it's really good to pull from like movies and like animes and like cartoons rather than like other streamers, so you can make something totally new.
Since you're going to be in this mall for 30 days, you can't leave. What's your plan? Where are you going to sleep? Are you going to sleep in the stores?
We took a whole storefront and turned it into my room, so like you can walk by and watch me and I'm gonna be like walking throughout the mall too, so if you're there, just say hi. Me and Shopify are gonna be giving out $1 million, so somebody's gonna win that.
Just one person who gets the straight up
no. They was trying to do it like that. I need like multiple people to feel like winners. We probably want to split it up into 4s, and then like I think like every Friday, like come to Rod Stream, come with somebody.
All right, so he already got one strike because he left the mall to go to Funny Mike Streamer Prom, and when he came back, he hosted a pool party. American Dream Mall also has like a water park, an indoor water park. So I guess either he rented out or some of his sponsors rented it out, and a lot of streamers came. And after this, this pool party, a lot of this was streamed because, he obviously invited all his streamer people. And the state of New Jersey was not happy about that, right? So the day after, he had to cut off his stream, and a lot of viewers were like, what happened? So apparently the fire marshals were clocking him, where they were peeping like, oh, the lives are what's happening in American Dream Mall, and they essentially told him like, you cannot be sleeping at the mall. And after that, he's now hopping on social media to be like, F the state of Jersey, and like he is going crazy about it because he feels upset that, they're not allowing him to sleep at the mall. Him and his team are figuring out other ways and alternatives. He's like currently like in an office space until he works out how to get his storefront back. But my thing is like, you do not have to say F the state of Jersey, especially if you are currently in our state. No tea, no shade. That's just how I feel. I'm a proud Jersey girl, so I had to say it. And it's like, I'm sure I understand that you are upset because the fire marshals or the government officials are telling you that you can't be in the storefront. But for you to sit there while you are currently in our state bashing it is like, okay, so why don't you do it somewhere in Philly?
I think that's...
And I am rooting for you. And I've seen, especially the recent thing that Willie came over to your stream and is giving out wisdom. I love all of that. But again, that's like when you go on some tour stuff to Puerto Rico or Dominican Republic, and then you're bashing that place. It's like, you are currently, like, oh, F Jersey, sir, you are in our state. Why you? And I get it, you came here because of the mall, whatever. But please pipe down on the hate of our state.
See, my whole thing, right? Didn't nobody send for you. So why are you coming here? Like, didn't nobody tell you, please come to American Dream Mall? And I also want to just mention, even people who live in Jersey, we do not care for no dang American Dream Mall. For real.
Not too much. I like it. I've been there a lot of times. You are in Central Jersey. As someone that lives closer to the mall, we have a lot of stuff there for entertainment purposes.
So for me, I'll speak for me. I do not care for the American Dream Mall. It's like, those places where it's just mad big and so much for no reason. Like, there's no reason why you got a ski resort in the place. There's no reason why you got a room full of mirrors. There's no reason why you got a Nickelodeon theme park. Is this the mall or is this
I like it.
Dorney Park? Girl, great. It's for somebody, clearly. So my whole thing is like, I think it makes sense because why are you sleeping in the mall? I get it. Like, you want to live out your childhood, like, favorite movie or whatever like that. That's cool, calm, and collected. But there's these rules set in place for a reason. If something happens, first off, because people know that you're streaming in the mall, what if people try to break into the mall to try and get to you now? It's like, I know there might be security, but one thing about it, if people are determined, they can make it happen. I just think for safety reasons, I get why they're telling him no. And I think that he's failing to realize why they're telling him no. But granted, I also wasn't in the room when the conversation happened. So I will admit that first too. I just think like saying F the state is crazy. Didn't nobody send for you, so why you coming for us?
And I know he does not mean it, because I think he's just trying to, like, he's very upset at the fire marshals or whoever in the state of Jersey is telling him that he can't do it, because, you know, you probably worked so hard and you had this idea and you want to see it through. But it's like, don't involve us in that. Oh,
what's that TikTok?
Jersey.
Why you say fuck me for? What I do? Like that,
right.
That video, like,
say you don't like the fire marshals, or, you know, you upset about this, but for you to sit there and be like, oh, F Jersey. It's like, sir, you should be glad that the whoever runs the mall allowed you to be there. And it's like, I get it. You're upset. And when you're mad, you say stuff you don't mean. But as a proud Jersey girl, I just felt the need to be like, relax a little bit. And please, we wish you the best of luck. You're doing great things. But let's pipe down on the Jersey.
All the way down. All the way down.
So now let's move on to our sports corner.
Tell them this, Diddy Mitch, Junior want to not be on my
Hey, welcome to our sports corner. Like Shayla and I said at the top of the show, we are too much. And one of the parts of our too much is the fact that her and I love sports. Okay. So our sports corner is basically where we talk about some of the trending things that have happened in sports. But, you know, it's self-explanatory. You get it, right? Mm-hmm. And y'all is getting a lot of content from us today. Okay.
Way too much. Oh my God. This is about to be a 2-hour episode and I want to cry.
No, girl, and if y'all watch it through and through, we rock with you for real. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the NBA finals. As you guys know, at one point, Shayla and I's team was versing each other. My team beat her team, then my team got beat. And then it was the OKC Thunder and the Indiana Pacers in the finals, right? And they was going tit for tat in every game. There was games that people didn't expect Indiana to win that they won. There was games that OKC won where we're like, dang, finally you showed up, right? In the end, a winner was announced and OKC won their first ever championship, right? And so one of the things that we want to mention is I think it came to a game 7, correct? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in game 7, they're in OKC. We're seeing all this going back and forth. Shots are being made. It was somewhat close, right? Then Tyrese Halliburton got injured and tore his ACL, I believe, correct?
Yep. Yeah. He tore his right Achilles tendon.
Yes, tore his right Achilles tendon, right? So that was like in what I think it happened like in the second half, I believe. It was kind of early in the game because then when they came back, it was just like, oh, what's going on? And then OKC ultimately ended up winning, right? Mm-hmm. For me, I wasn't really paying attention to the finals, like Shayla's mentioned in past episodes. When your team not in it, baby, it's either you're interested because you're like, this ain't my team, or you have no interest because it's not my team. For me, in the beginning, I was like, oh, I want OKC to win. And I should have put a parlay on it because, y'all, I was saying before the season even started that I think the Cavs or OKC was going to win. Mm-hmm. Oh, I could have been a millionaire right now. Oh, you hate to see it. You really hate to see it. But thoughts and prayers to Tyrese Halliburton. This is very sad. Like, I feel like we've seen a lot, especially when it comes to AC tears and stuff, like ACL tears and stuff like that. And it's just like, I saw that the commissioner for the NBA said they're going to use AI to figure out why all these ACLs are being torn and things like that. And it's just like, you hate to see it because now people are going to try and minimize OKC's win and be like, well, Tyrese Halliburton was injured.
That always happens. There's always like
exactly.
This person is.
Exactly. So our thoughts and prayers go out to Tyrese. I know surgery happened and apparently it was a success. And, you know, he's on his road to recovery right now. But OKC also did win for the first time. And my Haitian cousin who's on the team, he's been rocking that Haitian flag from the moment they won to the parade. And I'm like, yes, what? Nula. You see this? Yes, this flag been there.
Ciao. Shout out to Haiti. Shout out to we love seeing our people win. Another thing that happened in the NBA world this week was the 2025 NBA draft. I feel like a lot of people don't watch it unless you're like a really big sports fan, at least like a basketball, or like let's say your team has the number 1 pick. You know, you want to see who your team is gonna get. I watched it because my thing is I'm a very emotional person. I love seeing, you know, when you work hard for something and it finally comes true, like that feeling and emotion can never be replicated, right? And I feel like a lot of people have expressed this, and I think, the NBA, or even just not even the NBA, when you are a top 1% of anything, like if you're working for a top network or a top athlete, a top da da da, the percentage of Cinderella stories is like 2%. A lot of the people are nepo babies, or like a cousin or a brother or someone that was already a part of the league, and they had all the connections and then they made it. Not to minimize their talent, have talent, but the fact that they are related to someone, it made the path a bit easier. We can't lie, that's a fact. And so in this year's, obviously we had those types of situation, but I want to highlight, for me, the one player that got drafted to the Houston Rockets. He is from Uganda, and he like cried, his mom crying, his sister, and to me, that made me so happy, because you could tell this is someone that, like, his name is, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, it's Kaman Malouche. He's a South Sudanese player who grew up in Uganda, and he was selected 10th overall in the 2025 NBA draft by the Houston Rockets. And he was traded, or like, trades happen in the midst of the draft. So instead of going to the Houston Rockets, he's going to be going to the Phoenix Suns. But this is him right here. He had played for like NBA Africa. Guys, I don't know if you can see him, but this is him right here. And he was like crying, and I don't know. I just loved it. I love the story. And he was just so emotional. And I feel like you can tell when someone, like, he worked hard for this. And it's very hard to get into the league. And he made it. And I don't know him, but I'm proud of him. And I can't wait to see his journey.
I think, and I'm glad you touched on this, my problem, like, I've never watched the drafts, but I do follow a lot of the sports platforms who post like, this is the person that got drafted, this is that, this and that. And I feel like this year I've seen a lot of the people post about these draft prospects basically saying, I don't want to go to this team, I don't want to go here, this is not the team for me, I'm not about to go do workouts with this team, like, I'm basically like, and it's just like, to me, there's a sense of entitlement that's infuriating when it comes to these certain draft picks, because it's like, who do you think you are? There's a process for a reason. There's been a process for years. And somebody on TikTok had mentioned this, is that a lot of these players are not humble enough to understand the opportunity that they have. There's people who play basketball at these parks in different urban areas who play 10 times better than you, but you got the opportunity, and you're going to sit there and tell people that you don't want to go to Utah? You don't want to go to who are you? Mind you, when you get into the league, you're not even going to be half as good as those players, because you still have to build. I don't know what these college, and I blame NIL deals. I blame that, because a lot of these star players for these teams, they think just because they've gotten, oh, I got paid to do this while I was in college, I was picked for this deal, da 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 da. Y'all, that's gone to y'all's heads, because now y'all think that y'all bigger than the program. And that's really not the case.
Yeah. So the person that is catching, I don't want to say slack, but is the main person now going viral for this reason is Ace Bailey. He is coming out of Rutgers. This is him right here. And he had made it clear that he didn't want to go to like the Utah Jazz, and like he denied working out for them, da da da. And the franchise didn't care. They're like, okay, you don't want to work out for us, we have seen your work, they played during the season. And so they said, we're still gonna select you. And now there are reports, this is from Yahoo Sports, that rookie Ace Bailey has not showed up to, like, usually after you get drafted, you're flown out immediately to, meet the franchise and all their players. So as of Friday morning, Bailey had yet to join his new team. According to NJ.com, our sources, that development comes after an unusual draft process in which Bailey declined to work out with individual teams ahead of the draft. And the other side to that is that people are saying that it's probably not Ace himself that's saying, I don't want to work out for this team, because, a lot of these players' dream is to make it to the league. It's probably just the people around him, his agents and his people that want to like push him towards a certain way. But I feel like if that is the truth, it's like it comes to a point where it's like you are the athlete. You know how hard you work to get here. So don't let other people and what they gotta say dim your light, or like, you know, you already like damaging yourself and you haven't even made it for real. Like if the Utah Jazz is giving you this opportunity, whether you want to be a part of Utah or whatever, just make it there. Get your little tapes in of like you've played in the league. It's easier to pivot once you're in.
And my whole thing is just that it's like there's a process to everything, like I said in the beginning. And for you to show that you are so difficult and you haven't even gotten into the league yet, it puts a bad taste in people's mouth when it comes to you. So even if the Utah Jazz wanted to sit there and be like, we're going to trade him this draft pick for a different one, it's like teams are going to be like, well, he's a little difficult, because now it's like, if you show me that you don't want to be here and you don't have really true star status in the NBA, forget what you did in college. Great, fine, dandy. How you played in college is what brought you to this point. But how you play in the league is going to show a lot more. So to me, it's just like, regardless if people is in your ear or that's truly how you feel, if people are in your ear talking like that, be a man, stand up and say, I worked hard to get into the league, so I'm going to do what I need to do. And if it's you who's thinking that, I need you to get off your high horse and understand you are not bigger than the program. There are players that are 10 times better than you. And the same way that you feel like you're the best thing that could happen, somebody could knock you off that platform at any point. There's always someone who's going to be better than you. So if that is how you think, I need you to understand you're not bigger than the program and to humble yourself.
Yeah. So another thing that happened in the NBA is a lot of NBA trades happened this week. We're not going to go through all of them because there was a lot. They continue to be a lot. In terms of my Celtics, Porzingis is out, and so is Drew Holiday. I love Drew Holiday. I wish him the best of luck. I hate that it had to happen, but there's a new CBA, aprons, and when it comes to money, you know, it gets to a point that like you can't afford to pay the extra taxes, and so you gotta let talent that you would really prefer to have on your team, you gotta let them go. And so the Celtics already knew, at least the fans, that like they were gonna have to let go of good pieces. Porzingis was always, you know, he was sick and like he was injured. We wish him the best of luck. The big one that I feel like Rebecca wants to express is Kevin Durant was traded to the Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets are acquiring Kevin Durant in a trade that sends Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the number 10 pick in the NBA draft, and 5 second-round picks to the Phoenix Suns. So KD is out of the Suns.
The reason why I feel like, for me, I was like, what? Is one, because I mean, we all knew that a trade was going to happen. There have been talks about it since, like, you know, the Suns season didn't go as expected at all, right? So the whole thing for me was the fact that, one, it was apparent, like, Shayla doesn't believe this to be true, that she thinks that he knew about this, but basically, apparently he found out the news while he was doing like a whole like little media interview type of thing in front of a whole bunch of different fans. Apparently that's when he found out. Shayla doesn't believe it. Me, I believe the NBA is messy like that it could have happened like that. I think for me, what it is that I think people need to understand, yes, Kevin Durant is a great player, but I don't think that he's the same player that people think that he was when he was with Golden State, when he was with OKC. Like, you know, he's not that player anymore. So I feel like Jalen Green, I think it's Jalen. Yeah, that's his name. Yeah, Jalen Green. I feel like when I saw him in the playoffs, he was a very pick and choose type of player. There were some games where he was on, and there was games where it was eviction notice, like lights off, foreclosure. Like there was nothing happening there, right? And so to me, I didn't see that trade as a problem. I just think that they just traded a lot for KD, and I don't see KD as the asset that everybody's making him out to be. Because I feel like a lot of the teams that he's gone to where he's supposed to be that main player, he's supposed to be the person that everything goes through, it's like, it's never that. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we'll see what happens. He's still Kevindurant, and I think, you know, he has something to offer to a team. But after the Luka trade, no trade surprises me. I was so baffled by that trade, that one, and when Karl Anthony Towns went to the Knicks. After I went through that stuff, I'm like, I can't be surprised. But the Luka one was so insane to me. By the way, the Dallas Mavericks got the number 1 pick, which was also like baffling. Hello. But anyways, after that trade, nothing surprises me. And it's NFL season now. Let's wrap up the NBA.
I just wanted to say really quickly, I saw some like potential trade talks that apparently they're trying to trade Mikal Bridges, like my Knicks. I said, I need y'all to be so for real. And I pulled this out just to show you.
Didn't they give so much for that? For him,
girl, I'm like, why would y'all even don't piss me off, for real. And then also people are like saying like they trying to interview all these different coaches. Honestly, I think Mike Brown would be a perfect fit for us. He has a defensive type of mindset, and he's like, he give a no nonsense type of coach, right? But I want to give a shout out to Naomi, because this was one of my Christmas gifts, my birthday gifts, y'all. Look, when Mikal Bridges blocked Jason Tatum's shot, y'all see that? You love to see it.
And a point that I do want to make, because we have to wrap her up, we are so over. If you are made it to this part, you are real one. Drop a little water bottle or something with water, because we do need water. We thirsty. We've been talking for hours, literally. So in the size of WNBA, you guys know I do watch the WNBA. A lot has been happening there, but one of the main things is, as we talk about trades and all of this, Indiana Fever waived veteran Dewanna Bonner, who says the team fit, quote, did not work out. Keep in mind, during the offseason, Dewanna Bonner moved from the Connecticut Sun to the Indiana Fever. If you don't know the Indiana Fever, that's the team that, you know, Caitlin Clark is on that team, Aaliyah Boston, all the things. And she was supposed to be that vet presence. She played for a few games, and Dewanna Bonner was kind of saying like she was promised to be a part of the starting 5, and then little by little she was not a part of the starting 5. And we also don't know what happened internally in the locker room. But the moral of the story is that here's a veteran who usually is not known to be in any type of drama. Like, she's hardworking, she gets her stuff done, and the people are kind of questioning like what happened. The press conferences at the beginning of the season were like, oh, we're so excited, we will have this, and now it's like, you don't want to be a part of the team. Thankfully, it's still really early on in the season, but the fact that she asked like, yeah, I can't be in this team anymore, the people are questioning like, what is happening, what is this? And I'm sure the real story is not gonna come out now. It's gonna take after the fact, like once she retires type thing. But
and my whole thing is like, this is just a recommendation for like WNBA, NBA. I think like we need to start having like these after games have confessionals where like they just say, yeah, I feel like that would be, you want ratings to go up, but
if the players barely want to do post game press conference.
Girl, but if you sat there and did a confessional, especially after the heat of the moment, oh baby,
child, I'm sorry, I want to go home.
I would pay extra for that content. I'll tell you that right now.
Okay. Well, the drama definitely, I think the WNBA has way more drama. I don't know if it's because the outside people make it more of a drama because it is women, and like, you know, anything women do, the people amplify. Another thing is the Las Vegas Aces, they were like the it team for like 3 years. Okay. And they have been struggling recently, which in itself is like something that's like shocking. Because I remember I'm a new WNBA fan, and when I first started watching, honestly, I wouldn't even watch any game that was versus the Aces because they would just always win all the time. But it's so funny, like now the Liberty are kind of sort of doing good. And it's like when it's your team doing all the winning, it's fun. But then when it's not your team, it's like, can you guys stop winning?
Heartache. True heartbreak. Like I tell you, like you was like, dag, I'd rather my man break my heart than my team.
Girl. But anyways, I still love Asia Wilson. She still is that girl despite the record of her team. But yeah, that's that on that. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. We appreciate you. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, And for real, please do subscribe, please.
Yes, and we also do have an announcement for you guys.
Oh,
right?
yes.
Yes.
So if you've been here from day one, this is like our 48th episode. So we've been doing 47th. Oh, in my mind, I'm already thinking ahead, child. This is our 47th episode. And so we really want to come in full force for our season 2, right? Like this is season 1. We dropped 47 episodes in season 1. If this is your first time watching, you got a lot of episodes to watch. Okay, so for the month of July, we are going to go dark, but just dark for you guys because we're not going to be posting new YouTube videos. But make sure you follow us on Instagram and TikTok because we will be posting more content on those platforms. And do not worry, we are coming back in August full force for season 2. We just need time to work on how we want to revamp and think about all the new things and all the new ways that, you know, the same way you guys pour into us, we want to make sure that we come back bigger and better for season 2. But we appreciate you guys supporting us, for all our 228 subscribers for season 1. You know, we would make a year in August, but we are going to make a year in August. So we want to make sure that we get it all together to commemorate our first year anniversary.
And Shayla explained it all beautifully. Basically, we want to make sure that we not only are we elevating with you guys, but we want to make sure that we pour into y'all as much as y'all pour into us. Every subscribe, every like, every comment means more to us than you'll ever know. So this is not a goodbye. This is just a see you later. So like Shayla said, we are going to be back for season 2. We're going to make a year officially in August. So what is a better time than to be season 2 when we hit our 1 year mark. Especially this is a lot for Shayla and I, especially we've started so many projects individually with other people and they've never lasted, not even made 6 months, let alone a year. So we're extremely grateful for you guys for following us through this journey, for being here with us through every step. Even when the camera quality was trash, when the audio wasn't great, when there's been mix-ups and we've been trying to figure it all out. Thank you guys for being there with us, supporting us, and making sure that you just follow us along the journey. When we come back, we're going to be bigger and better than ever. Like Shayla said, follow us on TikTok, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. There's more coming. There's more coming. We want to feed into y'all. And if there's anything like comments, critiques, anything that you want to see from our podcast, like, oh, you guys should do this type of segment, or I would love if you guys did this type of thing, definitely let us know in the comments. And if you are not comfortable commenting, or you're watching this on your TV and you can't comment, hit us up on Instagram. Shayla's Instagram. What's your Instagram?
Shayla B.
Yes, and mine is Specially Becca. You can also hit us up on Too Much SB. If there's any opinions, critiques, or anything that you want to share with us, you can hit Shayla up, you can hit me up, you can hit the podcast up. We will get back to you guys. Even if you don't comment below, you can interact with us because we want to interact with you guys. So thank you guys again so much for this journey. Thank you for being here with us throughout every step. We appreciate you guys so much. And for the end of season 2, I know at one point Shayla said comment.
End of season 2, end of season
1. Season 1. Yes, at the end of season 1, what emojis we said? Comment a heart and a water bottle emoji, or a water emoji, some type of water emoji.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe for season 2. Bye, guys. See you in August.